I'm back with another Run Disney race, and today we're going to be talking about the best restaurants for pre-Run Disney meals. Hey, I'm Dr. Sam. Welcome back to my channel with Pixie Packing Travel Company. I am a family doctor, functional medicine doctor, registered dietitian. I'm a Run Disney fan, a huge Disney fan. So I am combining those things, especially with this series on this channel, and doing some Run Disney videos. So if you haven't checked out any of those, please check them out. But today we are going, welcome, by the way, and today we are going to talk about pre-race meals and what kind of fun meals you can have at Disney that will help you get ready for your Run Disney race. So my last video, I talked about pre-race or nutrition planning while you're training, but not necessarily your pre-race meals. I touched on it a little bit, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it more. So when I was talking about planning your nutrition during your training, I talked about leaving out carbs, processed carbs for a 2-week period, then adding them back in and seeing how you're doing. Now, at this point, when we're talking the day before the race, we probably know how we handle our carbs, and so you want to take that into account when I'm talking about the restaurants here. So some people do well with carb loading, and if you're one of those people that likes to 2 to 3 days before a race, gradually increase your intake of rice or pasta or bread of some sort, then some of these restaurants I'm going to mention in the beginning here are going to be good for carb loading. So that would be like Via Napoli in Epcot. They have great pizzas, as you probably know. They have, it's located in the Italy Pavilion in Epcot. So lots of true, authentic Italian food, pastas, but the pizzas are what they're really well known for. So if you know that you do well with pizza and you want to carb load, then Via Napoli would be a good place. If you're looking for other Italian restaurants in Magic Kingdom, there is Tony's Town Square. It's cute, the food's not fabulous, but they do have pastas and big dishes like that. I don't think you need to eat a huge dish of pasta. Maybe if you're doing the marathon, you're doing some of the shorter races, you don't necessarily need to carb load as much, but you could try that as long as you've tried it before and it's not the first time that you've been adding a bunch of carbs. You need to do that ahead of time to know how you would handle carb loading. And then another great place to carb load that's like an Italian restaurant is Mama Melrose in Hollywood Studios. So that's a good one too. Now I'm a vegetarian and I like kind of unique foods. So I really like Skipper Canteen in Magic Kingdom over by the Jungle Cruise. It's very Jungle Cruise themed. They have the Brazilian cheese bites. I don't know if they call that, but it's the same as they have like in the Epcot Food and Wine Festival and some of the other festivals where they have the Brazilian cheese bites. And those they have some carbs in them, but they're gluten-free, and I am gluten-free and vegetarian. So it's a great option for me. They also have a really great tofu and rice kind of stir-fry dish there. So they have some different unique cuisines options like that with rice as a base, and I think I tolerate rice and it's a good pre-race food for me, whereas pizza and pastas are not as much for me, but they may be for you. So I really like Skipper Canteen. If you're more of a protein person and you want to get a lot of protein in, Skipper Canteen also has a lot of great protein options. There is Steakhouse 71 over in, I'm vegetarian, so I haven't had their steaks, but I hear good things about them over at the Contemporary, so right by the Magic Kingdom. There is the Columbia Harbor House at Magic Kingdom has some good sandwiches with some protein options. There's some sit-down restaurants within the Magic Kingdom, like Liberty Tree Tavern has a good Thanksgiving style meal where you could get your protein, your fat, and your carbs there as well. If you're going to happen to be over at Animal Kingdom the day before, which might be a good option because they close earlier and you won't be tempted to stay out as late the night before, because you do not want to stay out late the night before. You'll be getting to the race usually at 3 or 3:30. If you don't know anything about that, check out my other planning for Run Disney videos because it will help you plan for that. You may want to go to Tusker House. Is an awesome buffet that has some really unique and interesting kind of African fare. I really love the rice dishes on their buffet. and the bread. There's a lot of vegetarian options there too. And if you're over at Epcot, there's so many options, so many options. Like I mentioned, if you're carb loading, Via Napoli is a good option. They have over in the Land Pavilion, if you plan ahead, just like with Tusker House, it's a character meal, so you have to plan ahead. If you have kids with you, it's a great option. If you have kids with you, or you don't, the over in the Living with the Land Garden Grill, if you plan ahead, that is a character meal, but amazing food, like super healthy. Well, not always healthy, but you're going to have your protein, you're going to have really good bread, you're going to have really good fresh vegetables because they use a lot of the veggies that are made in the Land, or not made, but are grown in the Land Pavilion. So really good, substantial meal you could get there. So I highly recommend it. Not cheap because it's a character meal. But then if you want to go lower budget and some healthier food options with some good protein options, Sunshine Season's kind of like they're almost like a food court option at Living with the Land. Also, there's also, if you like seafood, over in the Seas, but the seafood restaurant there with the big aquarium, we don't go there very often because we have an aquarium restaurant that looks exactly like that in our town in Denver. But it's really cool as far as seafood options. If you would just want to have your protein, that's a seafood, and some vegetables there too, and a simpler kind of, maybe not as carb dense, although they have plenty of carbs there, meal, you could go there. And then a lot of people are staying at some of the more affordable hotels when they're at RunDisney because they're having to get up so early. They're not spending a ton of time at the hotels. So like Pop Century has a really good food court, Everything Pop, that has, pretty much everything you could want as far as options for a quicker meal. So you could go that route to eating at your hotel instead, because you are going to want to get an early night that night before. So if you have any of your favorites for pre-RunDisney meals, let me know. There's plenty of post-RunDisney meals because you can go crazy. You just want to be careful with your pre-RunDisney meal and not eat anything too crazy or off your regular diet. So if you're not used to eating spicy foods, you may want to stay away from like maybe Tusker House or Skipper Canteen because they're a little bit, kind of out of the ordinary there, and go with some of those other more like protein or carb based restaurants. So leave your comments down below. Let me know what you like to do before your races, or if you have any questions on any what I've done before races or any of the restaurants I've talked about, please let me know, and please subscribe and like and share this out so that the channel can grow. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.